Morning. Good morning, everyone. To those who are currently watching the live via Facebook, isang magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. No, officially, we are on our second part of the series on this topic. No, and bago tayo magsimula ng formally, habang nagsishare pa lang ang mga televiewers natin at mga followers, no, we are so happy that this is a beautiful day and nawala na yung ulan, no? Just yesterday may suspension ng mga classes and all that, Van, no? So I hope that you can share this live to all your friends, family members, or your groups that you are part of, and we will have a very interesting topic this morning. No? Again, we are so happy that you are joining us this morning, and this is a very exciting topic. No? So there. As we have been saying, this is the second part of the series that we have started last week, and this is the Kapihan session with the Consumers Union of the Philippines, and this is your Consumers Desk. I am Dean Rodel Taton, and I am the president of the Consumers Union of the Philippines. And I'm very happy that you are joining us this morning for this another session on a topic that will impact on the consumers. And this is what we are currently doing in the Consumers Desk. We are advocating and we are trying to inform our consuming public about issues and concerns that could have an impact to our daily lives as a consumer, as a traveler, because as we say, we are all consumers from the moment of birth up to the moment of death. Again, I am Dean Rodel Taton, and I am with Attorney Vanessa Oyos.
Good morning, Dean. And of course, good morning, magandang umaga sa lahat ng ating mga kapwa-consumers dyan, all over the Philippines and the rest of the world. Alam mo, Dean, ngayong araw na to, talagang mainit-init yung magiging topic natin. Kasi last time, ito din yung topic natin. Pero dahil nga maraming mga comments na kuha natin from our last episode.
Yes, actually last night I had this X Spaces, no, and we were able to discuss a lot of topics, and in relation to this issue, ang daming ideas coming from different kinds of people, no, and we are so happy that we are trying to listen to these different opinions, and we are keeping these conversations open to the general public, because sabi nga natin, hindi masyadong napag-usapan itong topic na to, and sa September 14, ito ang itinakdang pag-transfer, no, paglipat ng airport sa airport concessionaire. And when we speak about the concessionaire, we are speaking about the concession agreement that subjects the Ninoy Aquino International Airport to rehabilitation and being passed ngayon sa isang private entity para mag-manage and to do everything about there sa ating airport, Van. And to give us a background on this topic, Van.
Para lang sa bigyan natin ng konting background muna yung ating mga manonood. Yung government kasi through the Department of Transportation and Manila International Airport Authority, or the MIA, entered into a concession agreement with San Miguel Aerocity Incorporated, a fully owned subsidiary of San Miguel Corporation, concerning the takeover of the operations of Ninoy Aquino International Airport, which is scheduled on September 14, 2024.
And next week na yan, no?
Yes.
Next month. Next month. It's end of the week, end of the month na ngayon, Attorney Van.
So basically, din meron na tayong two weeks. So talagang very hot yung topic natin.
Yes, well, this is a very hot topic. We are still at a loss kung ano bang mangyayari dito, because kulang sa information. I mean, for me as a traveler, and I usually go home sa Iloilo, and tomorrow actually travel ulit ako papuntang Iloilo. But in the past few months, and our observation is usually that kailan ba tayo nagta-travel ng biglaan? 'Di ba? Minsan ito ay during the time when we are sick, we are in a family emergency, or kailangan nating pumunta ng probinsya. because kailangan tayo doon. Trabaho as a lawyer, we are traveling also to deliver and be part of the justice initiatives and for access to justice as well, no? And traveling is very important, especially that the NAIA is a gateway to the rest of the Philippine archipelago, Attorney Van.
Yes, tama yan din. Alam mo din, yung nakuha natin sa ating discussions last episode natin is that parang konti lang talaga yung nakakaalam sa topic na to. And we are very privileged kasi right now, meron tayong dalawang guests na magbibigay sa atin ng different naman na perspective or kung ano man yung magiging comments nila. Malalaman natin yung comments nila for today's topic.
Yes, and as we have been saying, this is the part 2 of the series entitled Biyahe ni Juan, Bayanihan, handa ka bang pasanin ang dagdag gastusin sa rehabilitasyon ng paliparan? Sorry about that, no? And handa na ba talaga ang mga consumer para harapin ito? And kasi ang sinasabi nga is that this rehabilitation is for the purpose of resolving the worsening airport that we have, which is a mirror of the Philippines to the rest of the world. Pero ang sinasabi nga natin dito, as a consumers group, we are not opposing the rehabilitation. In fact, we want rehabilitation and we want development in the country. But the question is, kung ipapasa ito sa taong bayan, tama ba ito? And will the consumers be affected by this, no? And kasama natin ngayon is one of the Congress persons na very relevant the past week. Nakita natin sa headlines ito. And Van, you have the honor to introduce our first guest.
You know what, Dean, despite the busy schedule, talagang binigyan tayo ng pagkakataon ng ating first guest, which is a lawyer and a politician currently serving as a congressman who won as a nominee of the party list Kabalikat ng Mamamayan or Kabayan in the 2016 and 2019 elections. He obtained his Bachelor of Laws degree at the University of the Philippines in 2003 and his Master's of Law degree in International Law at the University College London, with merit as British Chevening Scholar in 2008, and he also has a degree as a Doctor of Education. He also served as a chairman for the House of Representative Electoral Tribunal from 2020 until the present, and the vice chairperson for various committees such as Committee on Constitutional Amendments, Human Rights, Public Accounts, and Public Information from 2019 to the present.
We are very happy to be joined by no other than Congressman Ron Salo. Good morning, Congressman.
Magandang umaga, Congress. It's been a while.
Magandang umaga sa iyo, Dean. Magandang umaga rin sa iyo, Attorney Vanessa. I'm very happy to be invited in this particular session. Maraming salamat po sa opportunity para makapag-contribute, I hope, tayo ng idea, ng insights dito sa usapin na topic po ninyo ngayon. Tama po kayo, busy po kami ngayon. Ongoing po yung budget hearing, particularly ng dalawa pong malaking ahensya ngayon, DPWH as well as the National Defense. Pero syempre, dahil umuupo ako sa inyo pong session po ngayon, na kaya nandito po ako, maraming salamat po sa opportunity.
We're always very happy to welcome you at the Consumer's Desk, Congressman Ron, because alam namin na ikaw ay talagang kabalikat ng mga Pilipino, especially for the consumers. No? I am always happy to invite you because we know that your contribution to this topic and to this national issue is very significant. And alam natin na Huwebes pa lang, pero parang tapos na ang linggo dahil sa sobrang daming issue ngayon. No? And every day and it happens a lot dito sa Kongreso natin. And we commend the Congress right now sa daming magagaling na congressman ngayon. And isa dito si Congressman Ron na nag-move for contempt ng isang famous lawyer in the Philippines.
Yes.
No? And masaya kami na you are part of this session. And when you mentioned earlier, Attorney Van, na si Congressman Ron ay member ng Committee on Public Information, and there are statements that this topic on rehabilitation of the airport lacks public information dissemination, and at the same time, even us who are trying to do research on the topic on the rehabilitation and the concession agreement, parang konti lang ang available na resources, no? I mean, online. We were trying to look into the websites of the DOTR that we were able to see in the Manila International Airport Authority's website, this AO number 1. As to the contents of the concession agreement, I think there were some tidbits of it that were published, and also based on the publications of the concessionaire, and also some write-ups by some dailies in the Philippines regarding the impact to the consumers. Pero ilan lang mga, I can count by my fingers kung ilan lang yon, no? And we wanted to contribute to the conversations about this. As Public Information Committee of the House of Representatives, Congressman Ron, ano po ang masasabi po ninyo dito? Kasi ang sabi nila, next week na ang turnover, but parang kulang sa information. And what can you say about this, Kong?
Salamat din. Maraming salamat, Attorney Vanessa. First, I wish to inform everyone, hindi na po ako hindi na po ako chairman. I used to be chairman of the Committee on Public Information, but as of the moment, I'm currently just a member of this committee. I was chairman back in 2019 to 2020 or 2022. But at the same time, I'm very happy that I'm still part of this particular committee. I also wish to commend you and your group, in particular, Dean, because of your interest into this particular issue. I'll be honest, nakikita naman po natin, hindi masyadong malakas po ngayon yung mga grupo ng mga consumers organization. Kaya siguro ito po yung isa sa rason kung bakit hindi tayo masyado nakakarinig ng issue regarding this particular concession agreement. But matagal na rin po ito. I think for years now, it has always been mentioned in the news from time to time. Kaya lang, hindi siya ganun ka full-blown in a sense. Kasi hindi talaga siya na place under scrutiny or under a microscope. Siguro dahil nga po less yung mga grupo na katulad po ninyo na talagang binabantayan yung mga ganitong uri ng kontrata where the government enters into. So in that sense, I really commend your efforts. But at the same time, you're really creating awareness and information to our people. But at the same time, in fairness naman po sa DOTR, kasi matagal, from time to time, nagkakaroon naman ng news concerning dito. Siguro nga talaga, it's really the private sector who seem to be not so involved into this particular issue. Kaya maraming salamat sapagkat at this point, napag-uusapan po natin ngayon.
Thank you. Thank you, Congressman Ron. And speaking about private sector, we have someone from the private sector.
Yes, good morning, Dean. Good morning, Attorney Van. Naku, maraming salamat na naimbita niyo po ako sa inyong talk today. Last session po, I was actually with the group as an audience. Then I learned a lot of things kasi itong mga bagay na to, hindi talaga siya napag-uusapan gaya nga nasabi ni Congressman. Pwede rin kasi na yung private sector, yung businesses, hindi sila naabisuhan doon sa ganitong klaseng issue. I think it's about time nga that people like Dean Taton and Attorney Van here gave the proper information to even not just the smaller consumers but also the bigger ones para magkaroon naman tayo ng solid stand as to kung ano dapat yung tama. Dahil yun naman ang ginagawa natin serbisyo sa ating kapwa Pilipino.
Thank you, Attorney Dayan. There are several increases na mangyayari sa ating airport, no? Although some of these increases would fall on the distinction whether it is regulated or unregulated na charges na ipapataw dito sa ating airport. And ang sinasabi natin, regardless kung regulated or unregulated that is, for an ordinary consumer, ang tingin natin dito ay tayo din ang sasalo. Ang bulsa din natin ang gagastos para dito. Ito ay pasanin ng bawat Pilipino. Now, just to put some perspectives dito sa atin, no, as a traveler and as a consumer,
could we say na itong mga charges based on
the rehabilitation or ang rehabilitasyon ba cargo ng bawat Pilipino na magta-travel, especially yung mga OFWs and the ordinary domestic travelers, Congressman Ron?
Napakaganda nung tanong na binigay mo, Dean. Of course, from my perspective, as usual, tandaan po natin that we always pay for convenience. We pay for quality. Madalas, pinag-uusapan po natin before, there's always been in the news na yung quality ng service that we experience kapag dumadaan po tayo sa NAIA, medyo hindi maganda. Madalas may mga kanya-kanya tayong kwento, nag-experience po natin na delay yung flight po natin, siksikan, wala po tayong mapuan, etc. Lahat ng klase ng mga pwede nating ikwento, naranasan po natin most likely yan sa NAIA. And kung malala rin po ninyo before, nakasama po rin po yan sa tinatawag na worst airports, etc. And kita rin po natin talaga ngayon yung siksikan. Punta po ako kasi kagaya mo din, madalas din po akong magbiyahe either dito, locally or abroad. And napapansin po talaga natin that lalo na kapag kinumpare po natin yung airport po natin sa abroad, walang-wala po. And palagi natin sinasabi, the airport is the first window kung ano po yung madadatnan mo doon sa bansa. The first impression lasts. Palagi natin sinasabi yan. Pagdating mo doon sa airport, kung ano po yung naranasan mo doon, nakita mo doon, most likely yun po yung impression na maiiwan po sa iyo. At the same time, I also feel bad kung tayo mismo na mga Pilipino are not getting appropriate services. Tatandaan po natin, tayong Pilipino, we deserve better. Yung palagi natin sinasabi. But in stating that, we need to consider also my first statement that we pay for quality. We pay for service. We pay for convenience. Wala po naman pong libre po. Tatandaan po natin, everyone, at the end of the day, someone or somebody is footing the bill. And tama yung binabanggit po ninyo, it's the consumer that will pay for that convenience. Kasi at the end of the day, it's also the consumer who will experience kung ano po yung magandang serbisyo para sa kanya. Nung nakaraan, 2 months ago, siguro, a month ago, I was in NAIA, Terminal 3. Binuksan po natin yung OFW Lounge. Ito po ibigay din, and part po ito, of course, ay yung concessionaire, si Mr. Ramon Ang, sila po yung nagpaayos po nung OFW Lounge po na yon. And I was really so impressed. Kasi i-compare mo yung OFW Lounge po na yon with any part of that particular airport, yun po yung pinakamaganda. And it was at no cost to the government. But at the end of the day, sasabi rin po natin, somebody will foot that particular bill. Libre from the point of view, walang binayaran yung gobyerno, wala ring siningil sa mga OFWs when it's considered OFW lounge. But at the end of the day, naka-input din po yan dun sa kabuuan. And tama po kayo, most likely papasok din po yan dun sa sisingilin. But at the same time, ito po yung isang konkreto na makikita po natin that you, at the end of the day, you have to pay for convenience. You pay for quality. Yeah. Napakaganda yung lounge para sa lahat ng mga OFWs. But at the end of the day, isipin po natin, may magbabayad po nito. At tama rin po kayo, at the end of the day, libre nga yung pinagpagawa doon, pero most likely, babayaran po yun doon sila. Pag sumakay po sila later on, pag natapos po yung rehabilitation, at tumas po yung fees doon, charges ng airport, papasok din po doon. At the same time, siguro maganda rin pong ipasok dun sa conversation na kapag pinag-usapan po natin yung OFWs din, ang the end of the day, ang nagbabayad po niyan are your employers. Kasi madilis kasi na magsabi po tayo, paano yung mga OFWs? Hindi nila kakayanin yan. But the reality is, tatandaan po natin, pagdating sa mga OFWs, libre po yung ticket po nila, libre rin po yung airport fees. At the end of the day, that is being paid not by the OFW, but by the employers. So, ang usapin po doon, it becomes an issue of competitiveness. Kasi at the end of the day, kung mas malaki yung babayaran po ng employer sa pagkuha ng Filipino worker compared to other workers in other areas of the world, it's an issue of competitiveness of our OFW compared with the others. But not exactly yung pasanin ay binayaran po ni OFW kasi it's actually the employer paying for him or her. So siguro yan muna yung may share ko sa iyo din. Kaya Vanessa, same time sa lahat.
Thank you. Na-mention natin ang OFWs, and we know that there is really a great number of Filipinos who are working abroad, and sabi nga, libre on their part. That's why hindi nila mararamdaman din ito. No? Because in fact, even taxes, I think the airport tax and all that are free, no, on their end, no. Pero mas marami ang Pilipinong dito, no, and nagta-travel lang din, no. And sinasabing there was even a point na from Palawan, if it's from Palawan, and hindi nga na-distinguish dito kung OFW ka or may sakit ka or foreigner ka, kasi pareho pa din naman yung babayaran ninyo sa airport, no? And yung pag sinabing charges and fees, this will involve so many things, no? And mas mataas. Pero na-mention ni Congressman Ron, no, about the convenience. We agree to that. We experience that not only in the Philippines but abroad, and the appropriate services, no. And speak about appropriate services. Tama lang po ba na we charge fees and we implement the charges and fees as of this time? Na wala pa namang development. In fact, they were saying that this is supposed to be a build, operate, and transfer, but this time it will just be operate and transfer. But there is no development yet. But is it fair if we charge people with fees and charges, which are not ordinary charges? Kasi, halimbawa...
Actually, kumbaga, nag-increase kasi talaga based dito sa MIA. So for the information lang ng mga kapwa natin consumers siya, tsaka yung mga supporters and audience natin for today, yung base kasi sa MIA administrative order din, from the current na 200 pesos sa terminal fee for the domestic, yung proposed kasi doon sa admin order will become 390. So that is 95% na increase. And sa international naman din, from 550, merong increase na 73%, which would be 950 na siya sa proposed na fee. So, yung question dyan is, nag-mention kasi ni Congressman Salo about convenience. So, do you think, Congressman, itong actual na fees ba natin is sufficient ba siya na justified ba yung convenience for this increase?
Oo, kasi ang sinasabi nga, there is for the past 20 years hindi naniningil ng additional terminal fees, no, ang NAIA and the MIAA, no, but this time it has to be increased because we have to pay for the convenience. Yes, but is it just fair to increase at this amount and at this time na wala pa namang development?
Yes, Attorney Dean. First off, I want to start from the statement na increases are justified. But the question is it reasonable? So kapag titingnan po natin, I check also kung ano po yung charges, airport charges in other airports in the area. Of course, number one po dyan is Singapore. I computed it last night, it's almost 3,000 pesos. But of course, we know also for a fact kung gaano kaganda rin yung Changi Airport. I'm sure nakapunta rin po tayo doon. Ang halos comparable po, kung ma-implement po ito, sa particular this international, I suppose, is Hong Kong, na katabi rin po natin. But of course, sa the present state, kapag i-compare po natin sa Hong Kong Airport, malayo rin, di hamak. So ang tanong po dito, tama rin po yung tanong po ninyo, Dean, justified na ba na mag-impose po tayo ng additional fees sa ngayon kung wala pa naman pong nakikita na improvement? But of course, tatandaan din po natin, although hindi ko pa nakikita yung, actually hindi ko nababasa pa yung kabuuan po ng dossier nitong sa airport. At the same time, titingnan din po natin siguro paano nila kinumpute yung particular amount that is going to be charged and how much they're going to spend. Of course, nandito po kasama po dito yung management. They're going to manage the airport and that already entails cost. Kung hindi sila charge noon, kasi tatandaan po natin, Manila International Airport Authority is a government agency po yan. So, at the end of the day, although may autonomy sila, I understand fiscally. So hindi ko po sure sa ngayon kung meron pong subsidy na ibinibigay po yung gobyerno. Ngayon, kapag ibinigay mo yan sa private sector, mawawala po yung subsidiya po na yon. So the private sector has to subsist on its own. Number two, doon sa lifespan ng concession agreement, how did they compute it? Kasi maaring that particular amount na binabanggit po natin, compute yon para hindi siya sobrang taas, isasama mo na yung period when they start managing it para amortize siya, quote-unquote, for the whole period. And that particular regard, hindi ako makapag-comment exactly because I've not seen the papers relating doon sa economic viability and yung offer po nila and how did they compute that particular amount and when should it start to ensure that they're able to recover the cost for the whole entire concession period.
Yeah, because there were statements that may mga charges that will be implemented at the moment, no, sa September 14 agad. And there are also like the terminal fees will be implemented a year after the turnover. But there were also statements that and comments no, na babasa natin that the MIAA fees increases lack research, validation, and transparency. And in fact, they were saying that the only public consultation took place on Feb 12, 2024. And other than that, yung mga sectors that are affected, like the tourism sectors, we were talking with someone from the tourism sector last week, and they were saying that the operators were not informed about this yet. And in fact, they're still fighting for some items dun sa airport natin, no. Si Attorney Diane dito, no, she's studying masters in international development and also practicing in the aviation industry. May comment po kayo dito, Attorney Diane, on the possible increases on the AO number 1 of the MIAA. What can you say about this?
Yes, Dean. Upon checking nga yung AO number 1 series of 2023, actually, yung sa may last portion po ng AO, nag-provide po sila ng computation as to how they arrive at that amount. Tama naman po si Congressman kung kaya pong ma-justify, kaya po talaga siya i-justify. However, kung reasonable po to na ipapataw po natin ngayon, ay doon po tayo magkakaroon ng question. Kasi nga po, wala pa naman po development na nangyayari, wala pang turnover na nangyayari. So sa paano natin malalaman na ito na yung rehabilitation, ito na yung pagbabago na kailangan natin in the near future at kung maganda ba ang maidudulot nito sa atin. So medyo questionable pa yung portion na yun kasi hindi naman nagbigay din ng karampatang impormasyon sa general public para malaman natin kung ano pa yung mga magiging benefits natin afterwards. So yun po.
Yeah, based on our research also, these planned increases in fees and charges in privatized NAIA are based on the 160% average increase in the consumer price index over the last 24 years and the required capital expenditure for their rehabilitation and capacity expansion. And the charge increase is set to take effect after the takeover in September 2024. And we are looking at also the most affected sector dito, the Philippine tourism, and also the right to travel as a whole on the implementation of airport fees increases. No, and studies have shown that in the previous International Airport Transport Association study, it has shown that 10% increase in airfares would result in a 9% reduction in travel demand. No, and this impact on the right to travel of the ordinary Filipino consumer, Congressman Ron? And I mean, what can you say about the statement that it discourages businesses and tourists from investing, countering the administration's drive to attract investments and visitors? Yes, Congressman Ron.
Sa ngayon, habang pinag-iisipan ko yung binabanggit po ninyo din, ang isa talagang nakikita ko na mas may major effect sa travel, right to travel po natin, which is the cost, prohibitive cost ng airfare. pansinin po ninyo, before the pandemic and during pandemic, magkano lang po yung presyo ng local o domestic travel po natin. Sometimes makakuha po tayo ng 1,000 and sometimes 1,500 lang po is the average. Subukan po ninyo po ngayon na mag-book. Ang average po niyan is 10,000 o 12,000.
Yes, I feel that because, sorry, Congressman Ron, kasi umuwi ako ng Iloilo regularly to visit my sick father, and there was even a time that I bought a ticket, one-way ticket, 17,000. And kung i-compare mo sa other airports na malapit sa Iloilo, yung iba 5,000 lang or di kaya 6,000 or 3,000. Pero in Iloilo, we're paying 17,000. Hindi naman sa mayaman kami doon, pero I agree that it can be termed as prohibitive, but I'm sorry to interject on that, but you may continue, Congressman Ron.
Yes, thank you, Dean, dahil you're sharing your personal experience on this particular matter, because I also feel it the same way exactly. It's so prohibitive na yung right to travel natin previously, we would always choose the air travel rather than land travel kasi mas convenient, quote-unquote, mas mabilis. Then, relatively comfortable at mas hindi ganun kataas. Pero nagulat na lang po tayo, the revenge travel, quote-unquote. Suddenly, sinabayan din po nila ng lahat ng mga klase, ng mga fees pagdating po sa airfare natin. But at the same time, I suppose that would belong to a different topic ninyo. I hope that you will also consider discussing that. Dito muna tayo doon sa binabanggit po ninyo na will it impinge on the right to travel of Filipinos? Sa tingin ko personally ngayon, not exactly. Kasi kung papansin naman po natin, while it's true na binabanggit po ninyo that particular percentage ng increase, 73% of that. Pero the base amount na pinag-uusapan po natin, hindi naman po siya ganun substantially. I suppose kung 73% pero yung pinanggagalingan po natin 10,000, that becomes 17,000 pesos. So in that case, in that sense, it becomes so prohibitive. Pero in this particular case that we're discussing, kung yung base amount na pinanggagalingan po natin, hindi naman po siya sobrang laki, I suppose it's still in the realm for me of reasonability. Maaring nag-increase po siya ng 73% to 93%, but the base amount itself isn't that prohibitive. That will discourage people from going outside. Kasi i-consider natin ito as a percentage of the total expenditure, particularly ba tourists. Siyempre, mahalaga rin po ito dahil makakadagdag po ito doon sa gastos po nila. But when you're going to consider the whole expenses of a tourist, particularly a foreign tourists coming to the Philippines, how much is that particular percentage as a whole kapag in-input po natin yon? Sa tingin ko, minuscule doon sa total. Ang talagang pupuntahan po na it becomes prohibitive and it's really impeding on their right to travel, yung sobrang prohibitive na cost ng mga airfares. But as I said, I suppose that belongs to a different topic. I hope that you will consider discussing it as well in your kapihan session.
And that's for sure kasi may susunod pa tayo sa series natin dito, no? And speaking about the airfares and the airlines, ang sinasabi nga dito is there is even I think I saw somewhere, I think sa X yata, saying that the airline companies in the Philippines are also trying to file some petitions before the CAAP for the possible increases dito sa airfare and etc. Because other than the impact to the consumers, direct impact to the consumers, the ones directly affected here would be the airlines and those who having business in the airport, yung mga maintenance companies, yung mga cargo and freight business doon, which would really have an impact also to the passengers and the consumers, because saan ba ipapato ng mga operators or ng airline itong mga increases dito sa airport, no? So only sa consumer din, sa airport cargos and freight forwarders, for example, ang service and ang product dito ay papasa din sa mga consumer, no?
And aside from the consumers kasi yung businesses din, yung mga business owners din natin, they will also be affected. And you know what, Dean? Interesting, no? Kasi iba-iba talaga yung pananaw natin sa dito, yes, sa increase na to, because if you can remember, yung last natin na yung sa mga manonood din natin, yung last kasi natin na discussion was that meron kasi tayong kinompare doon sa minimum wage ngayon. So, I'm really interested din sa sinabi din ni Kong na very hindi daw ganun ka maaapektuhan. But sa other na naman na perspective, if we will compare it sa current natin na income, na minimum wage is per day kasi magkano ngayon? 610, tapos meron tayong
And may mga magsasabi nga na parang elitista na view daw ito kasi hindi naman maliit lang naman daw ang ipapataw doon sa and of course if you compare sa Singapore, sa Hong Kong and other Southeast Asian countries, sinasabi ang narinig ko kagabi especially sa spaces is yung view na ito para daw elitista kasi parang ilan lang ba ang nakakapag-travel yung ganyan, but we are not making this mode of transportation as accessible as possible to the public, and considering that the airport is for public purpose and for public use. And I mean, anong masasabi mo dito, Kong? Kasi alam natin si Kong may lakad, no? That's why si Attorney Diane can have her time in a bit, no? Si Kong ang aalis eh. Sorry, Kong. Sige, you may
maraming salamat po, Dean. Una-muna magko-comment ako doon sa mga airlines na binabanggit po ninyo. I just feel personally na gusto lang po nilang sumabay doon sa sentimento ng mga consumers. As if naman sa ngayon nalulugi po sila. Siguro kailangan po nating busisihin how much exactly they're making as of the moment na profit. Number 2, sa totoo lang din, sila rin po yung magbe-benefit ng malaki dito kapag nag-improve yung services sa NAIA. Bakit? Kasi tatandaan po natin, isa sa pinakamalaking expenses po ng mga airlines is fuel. Nakikita po natin yan kung nag-experience po tayo nang nag-travel po tayo lalo na po domestic. Umalis po kayo ng halimbawa Iloilo, supposed to be in less than an hour nasa Manila na po kayo. Pero hindi makapag-land po yan. Paikot-ikot. Hindi mo alam ano nang nangyari. Kanina pa ako dapat na nakababa pero hindi nakababa. And they're spending so much fuel on that. So ibig sabihin po yan, kapag nag-improve po yung services, ma-offset po yan kahit tumaas ng kaunti yung sisingilin sa kanila ng mga airlines, pero dahil mas mabilis at maayos po yung serbisyo, ibig sabihin, less din po yung cost po nila, particularly on fuel, which is the area where they're really spending so much. Pagdating naman doon sa punto de vista na elitista dahil nagtaas kakayanin. Sa tingin ko, ang binabanggit po natin dito din, it's in the realm of reasonability. Let's be reasonable. Tayo mismo naka-experience and we want better service. Pero yan po palagi ang push and pull din in Attorney Vanessa. Yung mga tao would always push na pagandahin yung serbisyo. Pero nobody wants to pay the price. Yun po yung dapat nating intindihan kasi lalo na po ngayon na marami-rami yung binibigyan na ayuda ng gobyerno, ang palaging mindset ng mga Pilipino dapat libre yan. Dapat kapag pagandahin mo, gobyerno naman dapat ang gagastos niyan, dapat libre, wala akong gagastusin. Pagandahin ninyo, pero huwag kang magpapataw. So, yun yung dapat na ma-disabuse sa utak po ng mga Pilipino. And any goods na binibili po natin, tatandaan po natin yan. Di ba? We pay for quality. Kahit yung mga goods na ginagamit natin, sometimes yung ang tawag po natin dyan, pang minsanan lang gamitin. Di ba? Pang one use lang. And sasabihin mo, ito mura Tama ka, mura. Kasi pang isang beses lang mong gamitin. Pero kung gusto mo nang bumili ng matibay, tatagal, syempre babayaran mo yung dekalidad. So yun po yung binabanggitin po natin dito na hindi yung punto de vista natin, dapat hindi naman po pwedeng ang i-charge sa atin pang elitista yan. Pero hindi naman po pwede na yung utak din po natin mananatiling utak nung gusgusin. Di ba? Na utak nung isang beggar na dapat libre lahat yan. Every time na may gagawin ka, hindi ka dapat mag-charge, libre yan. Tapos na po tayo doon sa ganung punto de vista na punto de vista natin palagi dapat libre, bigay mo yan. Tandaan po natin, kahit sa pag-aaral, nag-aaral po tayo, di ba? Walang libre, hindi po tayo naging abogado rito. Attorney si Diane, attorney si Vanessa, attorney rin si Dean Taton. Lahat po tayo, nagbayad po tayo dyan. May matrikula po tayo. Matrikula sa panahon, ang haba ng pag-aaral po natin. May matrikula po tayo na pera na ginastos po natin, may matrikula po tayo sa mga emotions, mga intellectual, etc. na mga travails na pinagdaanan po natin. Kasi may bayad. We didn't become lawyers just by sitting down. Ganon din, kung gusto po natin tumanggap ng magandang serbisyo dito sa airport natin, we should also be willing to pay the price. Pero at the same time, yung binabanggit po natin, it should be within the realm of reasonability.
Yeah. And speaking about reasonableness, reasonability, ang tanong ng ordinaryong consumer is that kasi nakikita natin, akala natin simpleng pagpataw lang ng certain amounts of money dito without looking at the other aspects na ipapataw, and by looking at the charges and fees and schedule na ipapataw dito sa epekto ng rehabilitation, no. And we are with the point na ito ay makakadala ng malaking porsyento na income para sa gobyerno, pero itong pag-rehabilitate ay may kasangga at kasamang paggasto, no. Sabi nga, hindi pwedeng libre lang, and wala na tayo sa utak na hingi at dapat libre lagi, no. We'll get the idea of attorney Dayan in a bit kasi si Congressman Ron ay aalis, no. Speaking about all of this, the reasonableness, convenience, and also the public purpose of the airport, how do you think should we balance on these issues, and what can you say about the lack of information, allegations, and that the people are just waiting and they will just pay whatever there is to be declared by the concessionaire na babayaran kasi wala na naman silang ibang choice kundi magbayad. And as a kasangga ng mamamayan and the consumer also, Congressman Ron, what are your possible plans, if there are any, on this aspect?
Yes, Dean, siguro I completely agree with you doon sa punto nyo kanina na nagkaroon lang ng isang public hearing. I suppose it would have been better kung mas maraming public hearings sa kinandak po yung DOTR, specifically itong nag-handle dito sa concession po nito. Number two, mas maganda po sana kung mas proactive din po sila sa pag-inform ng mga kababayan po natin, pag-engage. Hindi ngayon na nagiging usapin po siya na malapit ng ipataw. Hindi po pwede na i-assume na lang natin simply because some people are not reacting, tanggap na kaagad ng taong bayan. At mahirap din naman na magkaroon po ng punto de vista na anyway, wala naman po sila magagawa kapag in-implement na. Hindi natin ino-oppose, pero ang sinasabi po natin, mas maganda sana kung nagkaroon pa ng mas malawakan na information campaign. At the same time, pagtatasa po ng mga issues, yung mga concerns, dahil I'm sure yung pinanggagalingan naman po nila ay reasonable. Magtataas, ang issue na lang po talaga dito ay hindi nagkaroon ng maaari ng mas malawakan pa na pagkikipagtalakayan, pakipagdiskusyon sa mga tao. And I'm sure the people also are reasonable. Kapag mas naintindihan po ng mga tao, because most of these concerns are arising dahil dun sa tinatawag po natin asymmetry of information. The information is hindi patas, hindi pareho. Ang information nananatili po dun sa departamento as well as dun sa concessionaire. Hindi bumababa yung impormasyon talaga sa publiko. Na mas maganda kung napag-usapan ng mas malalim, mas malawakan, para yung impormasyon na meron po sila at kung paano na-compute po ito, kung paano po ito na-arrive at this particular amounts that are going to be charged has been cascaded sa bawat isa po sa atin. Kasi bawat isa rin po sa atin ngayon, yung pinanggagalingan po natin because we lack that particular information. Yung mga most likely maraming magko-comment din dito sa discussion po na ito. Magko-comment po sila sa baba siguro. Pero ang pinanggagalingan din po noon because pareho rin po natin, ako in particular, hindi natin alam masyado yung mga detalye. Na that particular role or papel, ginampanan mas maganda nung concessionaire at nung department na nag-handle po nito. But at the same time, on our end then, mas maganda rin po siguro dahil matagal na rin po itong binabalita. 1 year ago na po ito, kung binasa po ninyo yung MC kanina, 2023 pa yon. So ang tanong po doon, naging vigilant din ba talaga tayo? O sa dami rin po ng mga concerns na kinaharap po natin, I'm sure ang dami mga issues na dinidiscuss, medyo na-relegate po ito in the background. Hindi masyadong nabigyan o ng pansin. Hindi natin na tutukan, kaya ngayon nagugulat na lang po tayo, malapit na. And kadalasan din naman po yan sa psikolohiya ng mga Pilipino, kukumahog po tayo kapag malapit na. Kapag medyo matagal pa, hayaan mo na muna yan. Anyway, hindi pa naman. Pero ngayon na malapit na, lahat po tayo ngayon nagkukumahog. Bakit kailangan i-increase? Bakit kailangan na ganyan nakataas? Pero we never ask that question nung medyo matagal-tagal pa. So siguro yung preparedness din. So ang ano po natin dito, mas maganda kung makatulong, kung mas mapag-usapan pa. And thank you very much, Dean and Attorney Vanessa, sapagkat pinag-uusapan po natin ngayon. Maaring medyo sa tingin po ng iba, and in my particular, baka medyo late na. Pero ang mahalaga, at least yung mga nare-reach out natin na nakakarinig po nito, mas maganda na mas naliliwanagan ang bawat sa po sa atin. Yes. So maraming salamat po sa atin. Magandang umaga po. Maraming salamat din. Maraming salamat Attorney Vanessa. Maraming salamat Attorney Dian. Sa lahat po nanonood at nakikinig po sa ating discussion po.
Thank you so much, Congressman Ron Salo. Kami po dito sa Consumers Desk ay talagang masaya at narinig namin yung insights mo tsaka yung opinions mo on this matter because again, different perspective din naman tong binigay sa atin ni Congressman. So maraming salamat po and sana po next namin ng mga topics ay maimbitahan po namin kayo ulit.
Maraming salamat. Din, papalo na po ako dahil may next na interview po ako. Salamat.
Thank you so much.
Congressman Ron Salo.
Kasama natin. Thank you, Attorney Dian.
Thank you. Kasama natin si Congressman Ron Salo ng Kabayan Party List ng Congress of the Philippines. Thank you very much. And now, bago tayo pumunta kay Attorney Dian, no? But we have some comments dito sa ating social media platform. Van,
babasahin natin from Dane DV, very insightful Attorney Dian. So yung mga comments dito.
Tapos fans na si Attorney Dian.
Yes, and also galing kay Attorney Sam Tan na naging naging guest natin last.
Mukhang may cheerers si Attorney Dian.
Meron siyang question dito. Is this the needed kind of development that the general population require for us to pay? Siguro maganda din tong
itanong natin kay
Attorney Dian yung mga dito, yung mga questions. And then meron pang iba, cost benefit, no benefit, may imposed cost na agad. Pwede din nating
we'll hear the insight of Attorney Dian on these matters. No, Attorney Dian, since solo ka na namin ngayon, no, wala ka nang kawala. Dapat mo sagutin itong mga katanungan natin, mga mainit na katanungan ng ating mga followers and viewers this time. No, so what can you say about first on the statements of Congressman Ron and also on the question about the development and the cause and effect on this matter?
Kasi again din, before lang tayo mag-proceed, yung issue kasi dito is hindi naman natin kina-question yung pag-rehabilitate ng NAIA again. Yun yung natin sa mga viewers natin that what we are discussing here is etong question natin na handa na bang pasanin ang dagdag gastusin ng rehabilitasyon ng paliparan. So, ayan, Attorney Dian, you may now discuss kung ano man yung
lecture pala ito. Sige, we're interested to hear the views of Attorney Dian. Yes, go Attorney Dian.
All right. So may mga comments ni Congressman, actually I would have to agree with him as regards yung feasibility, yung pagiging reasonable. Tama siya actually eh. Ang naging problema lang talaga yung information asymmetry natin. Not everyone was able to know kung ano naman talaga yung contents itong AO number 1. Tapos on top of that, hindi naman nagkaroon din ng subsequent public hearing. So paano malalaman ng ating mga consumers, kapwa consumers, kung ano ba talaga ang laman niya at kung ano yung magiging implication niyan later on. As regards naman doon sa may sa cost benefit, hindi natin makikita ngayon eh. Yung pang malala, hindi natin makikita ngayon, magpapataw na sila ng dagdag presyo. Kaya tayo nahihirapan. Nagkakaroon tuloy ng some sort of gap, as you may call it. Gap between kung ano yung expectation natin at ano yung mangyayari kinabukasan. Sa may portion naman na kung ito ba'y makakabawas sa investments natin, sa tingin ko hindi naman masyado. Siguro sa unang bagsak, yan medyo hihina. Pero kung makikita naman natin kung ano yung magiging kakalabasan ng ating paliparan, compared do sa may paliparan ng ibang bansa, maaaring makakita din tayo ng some sort of light at the end of the tunnel. Malay mo naman, maganda ang kalabasan nito later on. So, come to think of it, baka naman ma-justify yung cost. Although, I would submit na kailangan pa natin na mas maraming information sessions and public hearings on the matter. Kasi karamihan sa atin sa Pilipino, hindi naiintindihan. Kailangan ibaba pa sa level ng ating consumers kung ano ba yung mangyayari.
Yeah, and I agree with your statement earlier na baka naman maano to or the ordinary Filipino language again, no, ng mga kabataan at bekenemen, di ba? May ganyan sila na statement. But looking at the concept of reasonableness, the information, and I think based on the statements earlier of Congressman Ron Salo, we have to admit that there is lack of information, number one. And second would be on the point na baka dahil sa lack of information na ito, kaya yung mga tao ay hindi din nakakapag-comment or walang opinion na nabubuo dahil hindi naman napag-uusapan or di kaya wala naman pag-usapan kasi hindi naman available. Number three, I think this sessions that we are currently doing is to open the minds of our people, our fellow consumers, to think about these issues. Kasi as we always say, hindi huli ang lahat. Because kung ngayon lang tayo nagsasalita on this, it's because it is a real matter that should be faced by the consumer or by the Filipinos as a citizenry, no? And maraming views, totoo 'yon na maraming views kagabi lang sa spaces natin. Iba-ibang opinion actually, and majority of this opinion were built because of the information only that is available, no? Hindi pa natin natutukan kung ano ba talaga ang mga contents nitong concession agreement and kung totoong reasonable ba or is it unconscionable? Ano sa Tagalog yung unconscionable? Parang ito ba ay sobra-sobra na paniningil sa ordinaryong consumer? Or talaga bang bayanihan na lang ito? Kasi we cannot also live in the concept that because maganda naman ang purpose nito. But again, ang purpose is always different from what is being done and what will be done and what would actually be produced based on these actions, no, Attorney Van?
But you know what, Dino? Considering September 14 na, itong pag-take over, we can only hope for the best. Kasi nga sabi nga ni Attorney Dayan, baka naman. So, wala tayong anything na, as of the moment, no? Wala tayong anything na assurance. Kasi nga, wala pa tayong nakikita na development as of the moment.
Or is it a proper question na hintayin pa ba natin sa September 14?
Yes.
Or bakit hindi ngayon? No? So, na-mention ni Attorney Dayan earlier ang konsepto ng gaps, no? May mga identified gaps, no? Hindi ko na, of course, this is not purely academic because it's real. It exists in the real world, no? If we can mention some gaps na nakita mo, Attorney Dayan, and based on these findings, no? What are these gaps? And sa palagay mo, paano po natin ito aktuhan or how should the government or even the concessionaire deal with these existing gaps that you have?
Yeah, yes, okay. So one of the gaps is yun nga, yung information asymmetry natin. So kamukha nga nung nabanggit po ni Attorney DJ nung nakaraang session natin. Dapat kasi mag-ingay talaga ang mga consumers natin na kailangan pa namin na mas maraming impormasyon para malaman natin kung saan ba tayo patungo. Yun yung isa. Pangalawa, siguro it's about time na ang Civil Aviation Authority or si Manila International Airport at saka si San Miguel Corporation, magbigay din naman sila ng statements kasi mukhang na-privatize po lahat ng information dyan. Sana naman na magbigay sila ng statement na ito ang expected natin, ito ang mangyayari, ano ba ina-expect natin afterwards. Kasi kapag titignan natin, it's a contractual obligation. So ito ay pag-uusap between Manila International Airport and San Miguel. Hindi tayo kasama dyan, hindi na natin malalaman yan. Pero yung due sa public na impormasyon, para malaman natin kung ano ina-expect natin, ay dapat maibigay sa publiko. Para alam din natin, as business owners, investors, consumers, alam natin kung saan tayo lulugar, paano tayo mag-a-adjust, at paano tayo makakapag-prepare if in case dumating na si price increase. Kasi nga, dahil nga contractual obligation to, hindi lang naman sila yon. Even yung ating mga airlines, yung airline companies, they contract din sila dito sa Pilipinas. So, for example, I was handling China Eastern Airlines. Sila nakakontrata sila sa atin kung anong portion lang irerenta nila, yung mga hangar, ganyan. At kung magtataas ng presyo, kailangan nila mag-restructure ng contract. So, that's one investment. Other investments would be the bigger companies na magpapadala dito ng mga gamits, mga gamit at mga makina. Siyempre, tataas din ang presyo ng mga yan. So, kailangan natin itong particular na information na to para makapag-adjust tayo at paano siya tatanggapin ng consumers.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, no? And the points that were mentioned, no, on the aspect of whether there is privatization of information ba or masyadong sekreto ito na dapat may gulat factor para sa ating mga mamamayan, no? And these are real issues, no? And pinag-usapan natin dito hindi lang consumer, hindi pati yung mga airlines and even may mga nagsasabi nga na pati ang mga maintenance operators sa airlines, no, na we have heard some rumors, no, of course rumors lang kasi hindi pa naman but possible impact of this is for some operators to leave the country, and sabi nga baka mamaya maging mas lalong maging mahal ang mga babayaran ng mga eroplano dito, and at the same time na ipapasa lang din at the end sa ating publiko at consumers.
So ayun din, talagang napakainit ng discussion natin. Meron tayong narinig ng mga bagong ideas, bagong mga thoughts on this issue. So talagang nagpapasalamat tayo ngayon sa ating mga guests for today.
Yes. And actually ako, Van, no, ako bilang sabi ko nga, researcher and academic and also consumer advocate, kahit ako, marami akong natututunan from our guests last week and this week and even kagabi sa Spaces, no. Itong mga insights na ito ay talagang mahalaga kasi pag nabuo natin ito as an opinion and bilang ang mga impacts ng rehabilitation and the concession to many of the Filipinos, many sectors. Kasi here we're not just talking about simply the consumers. Ang consumers kasi minsan yun ang mahirap para sa isang consumer kasi minsan we just depend kung anong hain sa atin at bibilhin na lang natin yun, which is not always and which should not be the case. Kasi ang consumer should have the right to be informed. A consumer has the right to choose as well. Pero kung ito ang binibigay lamang sa ating mga consumer and wala ng choice, I mean, what rights are we talking about here? And what are we protecting? Or who are we protecting? Tama ba yan, Van?
Yes, tama yan din. And you know what, Din? Aside from my rights, meron din naman responsibilities din naman yung consumer. So, I believe that our show, kung ano yung mga discussions dito, sana naman ay makatulong sa ating mga manonood tsaka yung mga audience natin at mga supporters kung paano nila din haharapin yung mga issues such as this.
And I think this is not only a call for the consumers but gusto nating kalampagin ang mga institusyon na involved dito. Pati ang mga airlines, no? So the institutions like the DOTR, the Manila International Airport Authority, the CAAP, and other institutions including the Department of Tourism siguro kasi hindi ko narinig, no, na magsalita ang Department of Tourism on this particular issue, although we are always saying love the Philippines, but talaga bang madaling mahalin ang Pilipinas? Can we always say, love the Philippines? Kahit na alam nating pabigat ito at kahit alam natin na medyo, actually wala nang laman ang bulsa ng ordinaryong Pilipino. And are we just satisfied with what is being given to us? Kasi nga, para sa kabutihan, para sa development, but at the end of the day, we cannot discount the fact that there are also trust issues that are involved dito sa ating airport. Kahit lang pagpasok mo sa airport natin, as compared to other airports, we have to pass different security security areas na there is that level of distrust. Tayong mga Pilipino ba, alam mong dahil sa mga nangyayari ngayon as to the use of the government funds and all that, we are always having that concept of trust issues. Kasi alam naman natin kung paano ito gagawin or gagamitin. Malaki nga ang income ng gobyerno natin, pero kung pupunta lang naman ito sa hindi maganda, I think there's something wrong. And we cannot just say we should be satisfied of what is being laid for us on the table. Kakainin na lang ba natin ito? Or are we supposed to act on this? So are we going to wait for the impacts of this na umepekto sa ating mga bulsa? Kasi ang bulsa na, ako nga, I'm planning na bumili ng pantalon na wala ng bulsa para wala na ako wala na akong I mean literally and figuratively, we have to be careful and really have to call on our respective offices, no, or concerned people on this.
Kaya babalik tayo din sa ating question para sa topic natin ngayon, yung biyahe ni Juan Bayanihan. Handa na ba talaga yung mga consumers natin na pasanin yung dagdagastusin sa rehabilitasyon?
Kahit ikaw nahirapan mo pronounce.
Pero din, ito naman yung show natin ay syempre welcome din naman. Kung sino man yung may gustong magbigay din sila ng kanilang statements, of course sa MIA or DOTR, welcome na welcome po kayo dito sa show namin para magbigay din ng kalinawan or para
and we are calling on them, no, to guest with us, no, sa susunod na session by next week or so that the people will be able to understand this rehabilitation, the PPP, and the development in NAIA. And so that yung mga katanungan natin, kasi there's even a song na ang tanong sa sagot, mas madami pang tanong kaysa sa sagot, yes. No? So, Attorney Dayan, Attorney Dayan nandiyan pa, no? Baka makalimutan natin. Attorney Dayan, what are your final words on this issue, on the aspect of kaya ba ni Juan, kaya ba natin ang bayanihan para sa rehabilitasyon ng ating paliparan?
Actually, lumalabas na nga na parang hindi naman sa question of kaya ba natin, but more of kakayanin natin. Yun nga lang, as professionals in our own line, dapat mag-exercise din tayo siguro ng ating mga social responsibilities para maipalaganap pa ang impormasyon tungkol dito sa mga issues na to. That way, we can build a better Philippines para hindi lang siya basta bayanihan. Pero kumbaga, meron kang care and sort of responsibility towards each other. That way, mas uunlad tayo. Diba?
Yes, tayo talaga for growth and development dito sa ating minamahal na Pilipinas. So thank you so much, Attorney Dayan, for those insights na
yes, of course. And we are so happy na sinamahan tayo ni Attorney Dayan. Laurel, thank you very much, Attorney Dayan. And if you have something to promote, let us know. But before that, I would like to make a shout out sa aking mga followers. Kay Kumare Juliet, thank you so much for your message. Of course, Attorney Jerlyn Oyos Luna.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Of course, to Attorney Samantha Tan, Joel Gawani from Cagayan Valley. Thank you, sir, for watching. Attorney Dayan, dami mong fans, ha? And yeah, there's a statement here. In fact, mas mahal ang domestic flights than international flights. Tama ka dyan, no? Mas mahal pa nga pupunta ng Iloilo kaysa magpunta ka ng Vietnam or Hong Kong, no? may i-greet ka ba, attorney? Ako gusto kong
sige,
nais kong i-greet no yung ang yaya ko na si Maki. And also very supportive. Thank you sa pagplancha ng aking damit kanina. And of course gusto kong i-greet ang aking nanay at tatay na nanonood ngayon sa Iloilo.
Ako din for sure nanonood yung mama ko. So hi mama, sana okay ka dyan at magkita-kita tayo dito ulit next time. Sana pag meron na tayong studio din, meron din tayong live audience, no? Para at least meron tayong
and as you are telling our followers and our viewers, sabi natin na babalik kami in the mainstream, the Consumer's Desk, and next time it's not only Kapihan, but the entire Consumer's Desk team will be back in the major TV network. And ready na po kami sa mature roles.
Yes. And also Attorney Ann and Attorney Ayan, binabati ko din na nanonood din sila sa atin ngayon.
And gusto ko ding batiin si Attorney Arnel and Attorney Sheila. Mga Jai, kumusta kayo? And also to Allen, to Madonna Thorn, hello. To the Zumba people of Santa Monica, Oton, Iloilo.
Mga taga-Kabangkalan City din, ng Negros Occidental. Ano daw yun?
ZL Force. ZL Force. No, the Zumbanatics natin dyan sa Iloilo. And ang lakas ngayon ng mga Zumba groups, no? Kung sabi nga nila pag sa malapit na eleksyon, ang mga Zumba groups dito, yung mga chismis, ito yung mga malaking botante natin, no? Kaya Attorney Dayan, alam mo na. And again, Attorney Dayan, maraming salamat. No? Kung may gusto kang i-greet, Attorney Dayan, let us know. We're still live.
Yes.
Ang brother ko na nasa US, to them, hello. And to my fans in Canada, thank you also. So again, we are thanking everyone for being with us this morning. And alam ko na this is a very serious topic, but you know that as Filipinos, we have, and as consumers, we have to face this, no? And lagi na lang ang Pilipino ay resilient and kakayanin, no, ng Pilipino. But again, it's not always that case. Nais natin na kasama ng pag-unlad ng ating bansa ay ang kamalayan ng bawat Pilipino at ang kamalayan ng bawat isa. Dahil how can we protect ourselves when we cannot protect our rights and welfare? And of course, as mentioned by Attorney Dayan, we have to exercise social responsibility, and that responsibility is ours to take as a Filipino.
And we have to do our part then as Filipinos na kailangan natin kaisa din if ever may mga issues na ganito, and to gamitin natin yung boses natin. And of course, yung boses nyo ay pwede din naman through us dito sa Consumers Desk. So maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga manonood natin ngayong araw na to. Sana sa next episode ay mas mainit pa yung mga pag-uusapan natin dito. So standby lang kayo dyan at abangan nyo yung next namin na episode for
Yes, and because sabi nga natin that dito tayo sa pinalakas na boses ng consumer, and we are your Consumers Desk. And see you next week for the next Kapihan session and to the future episodes. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless.
God bless. Sa lahat ng nanonood.
Thank you to our staff and crew. Maraming salamat.
Direk, thank you so much.
And Taton Lo, madamog ka salamat. Thank you, everyone. And to Miss Tina, thank you.
Sa lahat ng mga supporters ko din dyan. Supporters. Thank you so much.
To the Rodel Natics and Vanessa World. No? So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Attorney Dayan. And goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Thank you.